Okay. Let me get all the other things going here. Uh, hey, Dead Camper, hey, Tex, hey, Perfection. Uh, Tex saying, feels like he's fighting the stage 2 boss, not sure why that one specifically, because they all use the same music, yeah. Um, that was another thing that I covered on my video game music channel, Caro Piano, at one point. Hey, Lunathera. Let me get the screen capture out of here and get back to the actual game. Which I'm kind of misleading you all. We're not starting with this game, but this was the obvious tie-in because that's the thing that I could tie to on my music channel. But yeah, this this song goes pretty hard in both the SNES and arcade versions of Earth Defense Force. This is a shmup that I grew up with, along with my dad, who, we both tried playing this when I was younger, and we both got stuck on the Stage 4 boss because we both used homing all of the time. And as you know, if you've ever tried to play the entire game with homing, I mean, you can get past the Stage 4 boss, but that's the obvious bottleneck because it's going to take a while to kill that boss, and that boss has a lot of nasty attacks that you would have to take a while to learn. But if you manage to get past that, you're gonna have a really, really hard time with the final boss of the game. And I mean, like, the funny thing is, like, you can get by pretty well on S-Laser, which is also a homing weapon, it's just less homing. Of course, as I learned how to play the game from watching Lunathera, probably around... Actually, it probably was almost 10 years ago, come to think of it. Which this happens to be the anniversary event for, in my case. You're probably better off using something like Grenade for the final level casually, because it will do way more damage. And the last two bosses really are kind of a damage raise. But yeah, we're not going to start with this game actually, but this game is very solidified as, like, part of my childhood. And I mean, SNES in general, I mean, we're playing 2 days playing SNES games on this stream, during the 10th anniversary week. SNES was kind of like, I consider it the most formative console, of my childhood, even though I spent quite a bit of time with, like, N64 as well. And NES before that. I wasn't old enough... Like, NES games were hard, dude. And I wasn't old enough to be good at NES games, so I didn't really finish any of them. That being said, some NES games are just fucking impossible. It's like Ninja Gaiden 2, I came back and learned to speedrun that because that was the only way I was ever gonna beat that game. But yeah, so we're gonna get back to this game, but what we're gonna be playing first... Let me grab the cartridge. We're gonna be playing first is actually Fortified Zone. I have this in my Super Game Boy 2. Fortified Zone, which is... I'm in my own light here, hang on. This is also a game by Jaleco. I have a very interesting history with this game because I distinctly remember reading the Nintendo Power article about this game in issue 25. Which I wish I still owned. I got rid of some of my older Nintendo Power issues, and now I'm kicking myself for that. But I ended up seeing the KOF 45 play, not just Fortified Zone, but, like, the entire series, I think, at one point. And I didn't even know... Hang on, I need to pick up another cartridge. At the time, I didn't even know that Fortified Zone and Operation Logic Bomb. Also, shoutouts to Lunathera, who is the reason I have this cartridge. Fortified Zone and Operation Logic Bomb are part of the same series, Ikari no Yousai. So many Fridays and you realize you were stuck in the first level of the game you had rented from... I mean, usually they don't really kill you until Stage 2. I mean, and that's true of Ninja Gaiden 2. I mean, like, if you've ever played NES Ninja Gaiden 2, Stage 2 is the frickin' stage with the wind and shit. And that was impossible to me as a kid. Of course, one of the infamous examples of Stage 2 being impossible was the frickin' level with all the monkeys and the Lion King. I think that was for SNES and Genesis. Um, but yeah, so I completely lost it when I realized that these two games were part of the same series, and I saw McCall playing all of them, and I immediately recognized this one as like, this is that game that I remembered seeing in Nintendo Power, and I thought it was really interesting, and I never got it. So, actually, I think this was probably during 2020 hindsight that I found both the first two games on eBay and played both of them for the first time. I didn't have the forethought to grab the second cartridge. I do have it, though. The second game in the Ikari no Yousai series only ever released in Japan. Honestly, probably for good reason, because the final stage of that is kind of unreasonably long, and if you die to the last boss, which you're pretty guaranteed to do at least once, you're gonna have to play that entire last level again. Once you know how that level works, design-wise, it's actually a really interesting level, but it still takes forever to play through, even if you know what you're doing. So it's not the greatest idea ever. You know, it's kind of like, you know how so many games suffer final boss syndrome, where they overtuned the final boss and it's impossible? Ikari no Yousai 2 kind of has that going on. You really need to know how to handle it, as Lunathera can also attest to. But also, like, they made it worse by making the final level take forever, and you have to replay it if you die to the last boss. But we're gonna play the first game in the series, and we're gonna play the third game in the series, Operation Logic Bomb, which this is also, like, it's funny how both of these games I just always thought were really cool. Operation Logic Bomb I did rent. I remember my dad and I playing this, in the 90s. I don't think we never beat it on rental. I think we both got stuck on the second to last boss, which is a very common snagging point. We'll get to that in a bit. We're gonna start with Fortified Zone, though, so let me put that in. Wait, what? Oh, hang on. Twitch is having technical difficulties already, so let me try to fix that. I don't know. That was on my end. I actually lost connection. That was not on so that affected both Twitch and YouTube. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that today, I guess. And if worst comes to worst, I might have to run the relay locally again. You didn't really miss much. I was just saying I was about to put this cartridge in. And then then the internet decided that it was gonna eject itself. But let me do that. I always forget the right angle to get this thing in at. It's always a fight. There we go. Like, I was fully prepared for that to happen. The same thing happened to me when I tested this last week. Okay. We're in business. As long as the internet stays in business, we're in business. What colors do I want to use for this now? I was looking at the colors the other week, too. Alright, so first of all, let's do that. Second of all... was it one of those? Yeah, it was probably one of these. Not that. Oh, actually, it might have been... It might have been one of these, too. Not that. That's a little hard on the eyes. That could work, potentially. Or even that could work. Let's start with that and see how it goes. Do we want to change our frame? You have the distractionless frame. You've got the internals frame. This is all just the stuff that comes with Super Game. That really doesn't feel appropriate for this game. That's kind of neat. Actually, that could work. Oh, right, and you can, like, make a custom frame, too. Wait, what was that one that I was looking at? That might actually work. Let's go with that. I honestly forgot what frames were in here. Okay, so, Fortified Zone. The first Ikari no Yousai game. So the first two games in the series feature two characters, and actually... I'm gonna reset. Right after I pick the frame and everything, I'm gonna reset, because at the beginning I think it, like, introduces the characters, right? Yeah, Mizuki Makimura. Oh, we probably missed the first guy because it took a while to acquire the Wait, why didn't it remember the frame? It remembered the color I had set. Didn't remember anything else. Weird. Okay. But yeah, so there's two different characters. You were 13, then you were older than I was. But I didn't play this until 2020. But yeah, so this has the first two games in the series have two playable characters. The third game in the series only has a solo character. Oh yeah, and this actually has like a jukebox in it. Also, I need to fix my layout, don't I? I just realized. I think I would remember these things. There we go. You can literally go into here. You can even, like, set up a sequence. Wait, what? It said A start, B end. Did I not? Yeah, there you go. Did I not just set this up? Oh, it actually did keep that, didn't it? Or I shouldn't have changed it. But yeah, they have a freaking visualizer, and I forget, I think there's one of these in the second game, too. Oh no, they were overlapping. You know, you ever see those, like, colored pug videos where the pug is, like, there's, like, 5 copies of the pug and it's shaking itself to the music? This is, like, the precursor to that. Who needs that? You just get Ikari no Yousai and you've got it already. Okay, I need to get out of here now. Let's play the game. Here we go. Masato Kanzaki is the first character, and Mizuki Makimura is the second character. They have different traits. Their weapons behave a little differently. Mizuki can jump, whereas Masato can't. Let me get the timer going. So we start as Masato, and if we press select, we get into the menu, and we can change our character from here. And now we're Mizuki. She also moves faster, so she can jump, whereas Masato can't. She has less life to start with. Actually, wait, no, do they actually have the same? I thought... That's funny. Maybe I'm thinking of the second game. If I recall correctly, Mizuki's shots don't travel as far. Yeah, so, like, their weapons are supposed to be technically different. I've already been hit. Great. I've been hit and I took 2 damage? Wait, really? I did not remember the game starting out this intensely punishing. And the thing is, like, arguably Mizuki would be easier to dodge with. Am I actually supposed to destroy a certain number of these things? Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, those are actually enemies you're supposed to destroy. Now we're on the other side of that. It's always those guys. I need to use... Oh, okay. They're only a threat when they're up. Right, I forgot about that. I probably should have pulled out the manual. I'm pretty sure I have the manual. I think this thing can rotate at a certain point. Ah, well, he's fucking dead. So this is off to a great start. He's gonna get run over immediately. Yeah, she has a slower firing rate, too. Okay, we got it. She can't use the grenades! Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, I think I should restart, because, I think the grenades are actually kind of useful for certain things. I don't know if I can do anything to, revive my teammate. So it let me pick that up. But that didn't revive him anyway, so we're basically screwed. It just wasted that med kit. I should probably restart. I did not remember enemies doing 2 damage to you when you have 3 health to start with. But I think I'm remembering the second game. This is the missile room, right? Yeah. Where did that one come from? Alright, well, I just picked up a health that I didn't even intend to... Wait, 2 health kits? Really? Can I just leave that one there? I bet you it's not gonna stay... Oh. I can't go back down there anyway to find out. Ah, whoops. Okay, they have limited range. It's also funny how the spikes draw on top of your character. I seriously don't remember what that item is. That's not hitting it, really? It didn't actually shoot, which is interesting. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so see, he can pick up the, grenade. Are all of these health? Great, I don't need any of them. I forget. Hang on a second. Yeah, no, they don't give you anything, because I'm pretty sure there's health up items in this game. Why would they just give you 3 health packs? Oh, that's the boss already. I think I just skipped most of the level. So if there were health upgrades in that level, I missed them. Is the only other one over there. Can I hit that from over here? Nah. So you cannot move diagonally. Also, I'm realizing this music could stand to be... Like, the game could stand to be louder. Oh, I can just hit that from there? Okay, that's the boss. But yeah, I kind of didn't fully explore that map at all. I accidentally speedran the level. Which might make things harder later. Another one? I couldn't even see my own bullets, but they were apparently firing. So I got a key. Okay, this is a case where you need to use Mizuki. What? Okay. I disagree, but okay. So there's a health up. There's 2 health ups. You know what? What if we just, like, bet on Mizuki? We should try the grenades at the other guy, though. But, like, Mizuki runs faster. And can jump. I don't remember if her weapon is actually, like, weaker. I don't think so. I think either way they took 3 shots. No, her weapon is weaker. Okay, well, I may have chosen poorly, but moving faster seems kind of important. Yeah, these guys take, like, 3 shots from her weapon? Damn. God damn it. Well, he's just gonna fucking die again. This is so weird because I do not remember dying nearly as frequently when I first played this game. I'm pretty sure if you beat the stage, they come back. Guess we'll find out. I need to stop trying to speedrun the levels. Cool, I'm just gonna die now. I don't know, somehow I had beginner's luck the first time I played this game. So wait a minute, we have keys, right? Yeah, we have 2 keys. Use 1 there. Oh, I can just shoot you guys from across here? Okay. Are you kidding? He never even looked at me! Okay. I disagree heavily. Wait, hang on. These guys are dying in 1. Oh. Okay, no problem there. I hate that if you, like, wait till the last minute to jump, it's apparently too late. So that apparently doesn't work very well. Can I just, like, ignore the other part? Or do we need that key? Yeah, come on. Shoot me again while you're not even facing me, I dare you. We're just gonna telefrag a bunch of dudes, apparently. Oh, yeah, they kind of charge you. Kind of don't want to go back to the left because I don't know if those guys are gonna respawn. Okay, he's shooting into the bushes. Yeah, see, you do get a flamethrower for Masato. Which, is interesting, as we'll see later in Operation Logic Bomb. Interesting that the flamethrower actually originated in this game. Oh. Now I need the other kit. Yeah, go figure. We needed both of them. Now have to go all the way back. Okay, they didn't respawn. Can I go down here? No. What the... Okay, hang on. Can I shoot over that with the flamethrower? Because that would be kind of funny. Yeah, okay, so he shot a bullet out his ass at me. Okay, yeah, that's pretty entertaining that you can just... Oh god, I forgot about these. Am I supposed to shoot these too? I guess so. Oh no, and then they start going horizontally. You just have these basically obstacle course rooms that you better have lightning reflexes on. Uh-huh. Okay, I guess I'm getting a life up for him. Didn't remember the life ups being this concentrated. Jeez, even 3 in this room. Well, that was worth it. We do still need to go back for the other key, though. What? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. They're just right on you immediately. Wait, have I been in here? Fucking hell. Oh my god, dude. Wait, why was that one blinking? Oh, at least I got some health for my trouble. And more health that I don't need. And even more health that I don't need. Like, I'm pretty sure he's full too, right? Yeah. I'm trying to remember... Why do I feel like I remember one of these games having a mechanic where if you have full health, then you get, like... health up instead. Yeah, that guy is just a problem. We gotta go further out this way. Oh god. The thing is, your hitbox is so big that you're not gonna avoid damage. I better switch characters. Yeah, I feel like I remember the first time, even the first 2 times I played this, I thought I basically 1CC'd them. So it's actually pretty hilarious that I'm having this much of a problem with it. What? Remember when I had concluded that, like, they only took 3 shots with him? But now they take 5? So now I'm confused. Well, at least I got health for both characters. Yeah, and these guys are stronger now too. Maybe it's... Maybe it varies. I don't know. Starting to think that what this guy does is completely random. Yeah, there's the other key. It's funny how we're like horking keys from Jeeps and using them in doors and they somehow work. Okay, that actually went through my head and didn't hit me. Yeah, so even if you just stand there, that's not safe. There's so many places in this game where just entering a room is unsafe. Nope, that's the wrong way. If I looked at the map, it would have told me that that was the wrong way, because they do show you, like, room connections. The one thing they don't show you on the map is, like, if there's a room that's actually segmented, because there's, like, a barrier in the middle of the room. So, unfortunately, it doesn't tell that story at all. Every time I come through this room, I have to do it again. Oh, come on. Come on. Wait, how do I have full health, though? Did I just pick health up and not realize it? I don't trust that's not popped back up on me. Alright, is it boss time? Not quite. Oh, it's bazooka time. Actually, it kind of just looks like he's carrying a huge, like, bomb of some sort. Okay, well, he just didn't do anything. Now, that probably changed my weapon, right? No, it just gave me more ammo. I still have the flamethrower. They force you to open the health boxes. But it's just health boxes. It's not health up or anything. Now it's boss time. We went through a right door and came out facing up. I don't know what that was, but it's dead. Oh, well, ow. Okay, well, that's also gone. I'm still hitting things that I can't see. Apparently this thing stops before it'll hit you, so that's nice of it. A lot nicer than the Jeeps. It's funny how every time I press the button, it will make the shooting noise. Even if it doesn't shoot a shot. So yeah, that boss, you just stand at the bottom of the screen and fire up and it dies. Now, this is where things get kind of rude. Okay, they still have... Wait, what? Apparently my health carried over as is. So I have like 1 health as Masato. Right, so this room demonstrates that there are machines that make the room dark? I don't know. Don't think too hard about it, I guess. Now right here, you can notice that the shadow like ended there, so that gave you some inkling that something was up about this wall. Okay, that cannot cross. The wall actually, it gets better. I want to see what's over here first. Okay. This is actually where Mizuki really shines, because she can jump. Huh. That gives him some kind of rapid shot. Interesting. I'm assuming we need a key or something for that, and we don't have any yet. Oh, big news. Give him a heal. I'm very confused how that first shot went, like, diagonal or something. There's your key. But there's also a thing down there. The key probably isn't for that door. These almost look like the frickin' bats from Star Tropics or something. Oh, jeez. Alright, let's just use her so I can actually move. I should have pursued this direction first. Because all that's here is the switch. That's what opens that. That's what you need the key for. You needed to unmask that wall by shooting it, and then you needed to use the key on it. Okay. Oh, you have missiles, but I can shoot your missiles. Or anything else in this room. Also, that's a staircase. We have a staircase in this level, and it says 1F up there. Oh, I forgot about this room. So this is teaching you something else. This is a different kind of contraption. What does this do? Well, you can't see what this does right now. But if I show you my controller... you can see that it's reversing my controls. So yeah, that's great. Let's go the path of least resistance first. Which is actually not the path of least resistance. Thanks, I hate it. Now here's where things get, unreasonable. Wait for the spikes. So if I recall correctly, I kind of want to be able to see that room before I try to traverse it. Can I really not hit that? Hello? Thank you. Yeah, that's why I want to be able to see that room. Because you would fucking die if you fell in there. Oh my god, dude. Wait, seriously though, how am I not taking damage? Oh, right, so this is another... Are you telling me I fell in the hole there? Because I disagree. Well, the good news is we don't die from that. I'm pretty sure there are holes that will kill you. I feel like I remember that happening once in one of my playthroughs. Am I going the wrong way? Hope I'm not going the wrong way. What? I held the button too long. Gotta do the whole thing again. You've got to be kidding. I wanted to see if they ever drop health, but I don't think they do. I don't know if I have to dismantle the device that made the room dark again. No, you don't. Okay. Stage is impossible. The hitboxes in this game are not good. We might be here forever. Let's try going to the right. Maybe I don't have to go through that room. These guys seem to really like to, like, randomly drop ammo, but... Or maybe not so randomly. If I could get them to drop health, that would be nice. I'm gonna try to get health again. Oh my god, they do drop health sometimes. It is totally random. Now they dropped it every time. Alright, let's go to the right this time. I can't do anything from there. Well, that's unfortunate. Unless I can walk through something here, but I doubt it. Oh, just walk through and don't think about it. This thing is totally gonna hit me, but I do want to try going through here again. Okay, no, it didn't hit me. Because, like, isn't there another path to the right here? Is he just gonna be there the whole time? Okay. Did not open that. Do I have a key? I do have a key, technically, but let's see what's down here. Maybe I don't have to deal with that room. That room might have just had more health ups in it. Oh, this is that shit. What is that? Three-way? Yep, that's three-way. Alright, for whatever reason I didn't fall that time. Don't ask me why. You don't have to go through that room at all, though. Oh, you're very fast. Holy shit. I'm almost dead. If you could drop health, that would be great. No. So now we're back on the first floor again, in a corner that we hadn't been in yet. These guys only take 2 shots, really? What's down versus what's left? This has another, like, secret-ish door. Oh, you actually shoot things. Okay, no help, though. Where does this go? Oh, this goes over to where we saw these guys. Yep, okay. Starting to think I should have gone the other way first. Oh, that's what leads here. Yeah, alright, let's go back down. Nobody's dropping health. One of these is probably health. That's a health up. They're both health ups. I'm gonna take them both with her. Because she's the faster moving character anyway. Now, wasn't there one other door I hadn't gone through here or something? Like, right this one or something? Okay. Wait, I can just walk through that without even bothering to blow it up? Okay. Ah, yeah, I shouldn't have been that close. Alright, I forget. Is he full health now? No, he's not. He still needs that way more. Wait, you move that fast and you have missiles? That seems unfair. Assuming there's nothing over here. I don't even know that there can be. Yeah, no. It seems like a weird place for spikes. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't think I can walk around it, though. Okay, so there's obviously a door down there that I can just walk through without bothering to shoot it. Oh, well, that's kind of rude. Because there's spikes on all of them. Yeah, apparently there's just way more than enough health ups in the game, because I'm guessing there were probably a couple in the first stage that I skipped. But either way, we're at, like, max health on Mizuki and almost max on Masato. That's a weird place for a switch. That's a lot of dudes. What weapon do I have here? It's still a three-way. I don't think that's terribly useful. This guy's unlimited range is useful, though. Ow. That works. Okay, great. Also grenades. You're gonna get hit by that. I forgot. You can pick up medkits when you already have full health. They go into this menu, and they basically count as extra lives. Do I have a key? I do not have a key, so I probably can't go through there. Well, I'm nearly dead again. Let's switch back to Mizuki. Are you kidding? I thought for sure. Could someone give me some health? This is probably 2 healths. Yep, okay. Boss time. What? Oh, right, the weird dragon thing. I forgot about him. And then he does the weird march that looks completely silly. Whoa, he can do that at an angle? I didn't remember that. Does this crazy after image thing, too? Oh, I don't have enough... It shows me having ammo, but if I press A, nothing happens. What? Okay. That was a really dumb idea. I should have just, like, stayed in between. Yeah, no, can't use grenades anymore. That was close. Really rather feels like this monster doesn't belong in this game. Compared to, like, every other boss that was, you know, just fully mechanical. Okay, on to the last stage. Each of the first 2 games has 4 stages. They're pretty short games, and I mean, Operation Logic Bomb is pretty short, too. The 4th stage is always some kind of fortress sort of thing in both of the first 2 games. Whoops. Maybe I should switch to her, because she actually has health. Did that not hit me? How the heck did that not hit me? I still don't actually know what those are. We've got dark rooms again. You might actually have to come from a different room to get to that. I forget. I guess not, because we have to get to it some way. Unless there's another way to exit. It sure seemed like I couldn't do anything over here. Wait, maybe I can... I forget how this works. It seems like the left side is the only place that, like, lets you go anywhere. Weird how I always come in, like, on the wall, too. Was there another way to go down here? No. So it shows a top exit and a right exit on the map. But can't help but think that those probably have to do with, like, hitting the switch. I legitimately forget how this works. Wait, that went somewhere. I swear I tried that. Does that even do anything for me? Yeah, I guess it does. That might give him more ammo. Okay, yeah, and that opened the top door. Oh, jeez. I disagree? Yeah, I guess I'm fucking dead. Can't disagree when you're fucking dead. Yeah, so the missile gives you more ammo. Because you saw my ammo refill there. What? Wait a minute. When you continue, you lose all your life ups. That's fucking bullshit. It kind of makes sense because that's what you would end up with if you used a password. But, like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You expect people to beat this game with 3 health when you lose 2 health every time you get hit? I don't think so, dude. Damn, I did not remember this game being this flawed. Okay, so I have ammo, but I don't have anything to use it with. Apparently a universal ammo. Alright, so cool. You know that freaking mid-boss that just obliterated me from however much health I had? Well, now I have to not take any fucking damage from it. This boss is so goofy looking. I guess it kind of commits to a trajectory. What? You can't do that. He changed his weapon, too. What did he do that time? I don't know, but he wasn't doing anything, so... Like, he was making a shooting noise, but he didn't actually shoot anything. I hope there's health ups in this level. Now it makes a little bit more sense why there's, like, multiple of them in every level. I guess I'm glad those guys didn't shoot at me. I don't trust this at all. I really... What? Are you kidding me? Alright. You cannot avoid taking damage from stuff like that. Oh, now I'm over here. Okay. Oof. I mean, on the bright side, this helps me dodge. Please drop health. Can I respawn them in farm health the way that I eventually ended up doing in the other level? Also, actually, are either of these destructible? Maybe not. Alright, well, I got a handout because I got greedy. I would like another one from Mizuki. go. So you somehow have to time this between those guys and also the spike hazard, which seems really unlikely. What? Somehow that only took 1 damage apiece, so I'll take it, I guess. Oh, I couldn't even see his bullet because mine were overriding it. Oh, it's... Oh, no. Yup. Because the hitboxes don't make any sense. That's down, actually. Another one. Whoa, okay. That's a thing you can do. Okay, but he's dead. That was different. There has to be a reason this room exists. Is there really no reason that room exists? Oh, I have a key already. Okay. I don't think I'm finishing this game. I definitely did not remember it completely nullifying all of the upgrades I got in the first 3 stages when you get to stage 4. And I think the second game doesn't have that problem. Because I think the second game doesn't have, like, I think it just gives you, like, your maximum health to begin with. And I think, if I recall correctly, in the second game, Masato has 2 more health than Mizuki does. Is this just a... Okay, if that just stun locks in there, that's fine. So we'll go as far as I get to on 1 health. Cool! What the fuck was I supposed to do there? And this will start me at the beginning again with 3 health for each character. Yeah, alright. Well, I picked this game out of the 2 first games because this seemed like the more likely one for me to finish, but I'm not finishing that. This is the first time I've had to fucking rage quit the first game, but that's nonsense. Alright, to make up for not finishing the first game, here is the cartridge for the second game. Probably won't play through the whole thing, but let's at least compare. Title screen music is very strange. Does this not have the jukebox thing? Somehow I thought I remembered seeing a visualizer in this one too. Did I accidentally, like, skip an options screen? Wait, yeah, no, I totally skipped another screen. There was, like, a password prompt. Why is pressing start skipping a screen? I pressed start too hard? I don't know. There's only new game and password, though, so no, there's no jukebox. I thought I remembered there being another... I think I remember there being a different visualizer. Maybe it's just that it's different for each song. So, this is what the second game looks like. And yeah, so, like, he already has a life meter that's a mile long. He already has 10 health. Now, interestingly, if you press select, you actually rotate between weapons. And he starts with a grenade. This is what I was remembering. He has a grenade launcher in this game. And then if I press select here, you can immediately see that she has 4 fewer health. Oh, I need to change the control scheme again. Yeah, for some reason it does start as type B, which is not what I want. So then what does the A button do for Masato in this? Nothing? I forget if it does something eventually. But yeah, so he has an assault rifle. This is supposed to be like a shotgun, and you can kind of rapid fire. Like, if you hold the button, it won't rapid fire at all, but you can mash, and it's kind of like rapid firing the spread shot in Operation Logic Bomb. And then he has a grenade launcher, which is actually important for opening some barriers. You can actually mash. This is actually like Operation Logic Bomb with the spread shot there, where like you can actually mash faster than the auto fire rate. Yeah, go ahead, I dare you. That didn't hit him? Wow. Oh, that did. You can launch over these things. Of course, your player sprites are very different, too. You have more frames of animation, I think. You still have similar, like, pickups. I don't recall... That did absolutely nothing, right? Yeah, you don't have any, like, reserve medkit mechanic the way that we did in the first one, so I just wasted that. Enemies might always respawn in this, I forget. I'm just gonna leave and come in again. What? I was gonna say, that sure looks like I should be able to go that- Oh, you can move diagonally in this, right, okay. Well, I clearly mistimed that. Yeah, so take a look at that. This might be one of the ones that I can just blow open with that, yeah. So, the grenade launcher was actually important. Actually, yeah, what weapons does she get? I forgot that she can use the same weapons. So you no longer have the whole thing where only Masato can use, like, heavy weapons. Wait, can't I launch this over that, though? Yeah, I sure can. Rip that guy. So interestingly... That looked kind of like the thing that reversed my controls in the first game, but in this game it's used for the dark room mechanic. But yeah, that's a thing. That still exists. Oh, I was hitting him, actually. Yeah, so keys are sometimes in boxes in this. Alright, I can't go down there from here. Although, I just picked up a key, which I can probably open that with. No, I can't, actually. looks like I should be able to open it from somewhere. Wait a second. Interesting, it doesn't show the connecting passage until you use it. Because, like, it showed these as 2 separate rooms. That needs a key. That apparently was a mid-boss, I guess. We immediately have staircases in the first level this time, so they don't waste time introducing dark rooms and scaling to multiple floors. Yeah, grenades are actually pretty good in this. Can I destroy this? I doubt it. That somehow didn't hit me. Okay. I don't need that. If I go out and in again, it does reseal that, so you can get it later. I'm not sure what that contraption is for, given that it wasn't blocking me from, It wasn't causing the darkroom effect. I should probably switch to Musicy here. They made the, conveyor animation a hell of a lot trippier. Oh, come on. Yeah, that works. That probably needs a key. Do I have any? No. I made an attempt to shoot there. Oh, that works. Can't do anything here, though. Where else haven't I been? Why does my weapon keep changing when I'm not pressing the button? Do I have to go all the way back downstairs again? And then, of course, there's this mysterious staircase in there. Oh, I didn't go this way, did I? There's another staircase. There you go, that opens that. So you had to come in this way. I'm just gonna do that again. But yeah, everything respawns. So I still don't have the key for that, right? So I still need a key for that first. That seems like my problem is not solved. What else haven't I done? And it looks like there's a whole other half of this floor that I haven't been to. Well, I didn't really want to commit to playing this whole game anyway. What happens if I fall in here? It actually does just bring me down a level. I could have sworn I remembered one of these games having floors that if you fall into them, you just die. Was he not dying? Surprised that didn't hit me. This was the door I couldn't open, right? I'm going back to the beginning of the darn game. None of those open. Really hard to actually stop on a diagonal. It is possible. It's just really hard to. Okay, that gets you in there. Is there like a reason to be here? I don't see a reason to be here. I honestly don't know what the hell I'm missing. This was very clearly the first major progression of the level. Oh my god, I'm just getting lazy now. Yeah, that's the one room I want to get to, but I don't have a key for it. Oh, wait a minute. That's a door. Yeah, so, same old bullshit from the first game. There's your key. You have to always be paying attention to what might not really be a wall. Wait, what am I doing? The door's right here. I'm gonna switch characters. Right, so the interesting thing is, you know, it's good that I'm playing at least one level from this game. The interesting thing to take note of is these things, which you always destroy that, and that's what brings on the boss fight. And these bosses are a lot more, like, Shmup-styled, in terms of, like, there's always things to avoid. Oh, for crying out loud. If I recall correctly, you might be able to launch into it from the side, too. That didn't work? Really? I could have sworn there was a side angle you could do this from. That doesn't work. That worked. Didn't. I'm surprised I hit it with that one. I made an attempt at shooting it there, but nothing came out. Whoops. I heavily disagree. Grenade is the best weapon until it isn't, because the hitboxes disagree. There you go. Okay. I'm not going to play through the whole game here, especially since I said Stage 4 is extremely long. I also think it's interesting how there's, like, that reticle that comes in and, like, spawns in the player. Like, that and the things you destroy to start the boss fights feel like they're sort of, like, trending towards the kind of storytelling that we're gonna see in the next game, Operation Logic Bomb. I really could have sworn that this game had the sound test thing, just like the first game did, but heck if I could see it in the menu there. Let me check that again on the first game. Yeah, no, this is always the same, unless it's in the program play, maybe? That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that guy. You got like a moonwalking pig or something. Wait, if I hold the button down, he goes faster. Does that happen with normal play, too? I would think that wouldn't... No, I didn't mean to do that. I would think that wouldn't make sense to do here. No, because in that it just brings you... It either restarts the music or brings you back to the menu. Okay. The program play is what I was thinking of that had the other little visualization in it. Which isn't really tied to the music the way that the individual song playing is. Yeah, I feel like the artwork in the second game, in the intro, kind of like gives the characters more character. That sounded really silly the way it came out. But yeah, clearly both of these games aren't perfect. I'm really sad that I couldn't actually finish the first one, but turns out it kind of suffers the Gradius effect, where it becomes impossible if you die. So yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to Operation Logic Bomb. That'll be our next game for the afternoon. Because I want to make sure to get to that and then returning to Super E.D.F. where we started with the music, starting the stream. Since we do have Soundboy in here, let me put on one of the tunes in here for the break. And I'll switch us over when I get back in a couple of minutes. Okay. One thing I should point out about the second game, so like the first game only starts getting into like 2-floor stages by the end of it, and the first couple of stages are 1 floor. Whereas in the second game we saw even the first stage was already 2 floors. By the end of the second game, they're getting into... I think it's actually a 4-floor stage. I think it has like 1F, 2F, 3F in a basement. And like I said, the design of the 4th floor is fascinating. Actually, one thing I'll point out that I have on my YouTube channel is back when there was the what was it, Questmaster? There was a demo of a game that basically let you build like LTTP style dungeons. And I actually, like, basically replicated the layout and flow of the final stage of the second Ikari no Yousai game. So if you want to see basically the progression of that stage and how involved it is, that's one way of watching it. Another way would be, like, find my 2020 hindsight playlist video of my first playthroughs, which apparently went better than every subsequent playthrough I've had of these games. Okay, but let's move on to Operation Logic Bomb. Whoops, and bonk my keyboard. So Operation Logic Bomb is really the first game in the series that I ever played, because I only played the other two in 2020. And this, of course, is as an installment on Super NES. Oh, I need to change things up on the screens here. Well, you can enjoy all of the technological introduction graphics. Okay. So let's get into the third game of the series, Operation Logic Bomb. Oh. Timer button? Timer button. So I have speedrun this game. I do not recommend speedrunning this game because it requires mashing buttons. So you can see we've got a life meter at the bottom. I should actually walk up to this so you can see what it is. You can actually shoot it from behind the barrier there if you line yourself up. Now, because we have L and R buttons, we can actually strafe in this game. So yeah, there's a lot of environmental storytelling in this. We destroyed some barrels, explosive barrels to get in here. We destroyed some weird parasitic creature to get, like, some kind of generator back online or something. Throughout the game, you'll see these terminals. Some of them will give you a map, like this one does. Which you can consult again if you pause the game. And we start the game with two weapons, actually. We start with spread shot, and we start with the rapid fire. And the spread shot will fire faster if you button mash it, which is what the speedrun does for the first 9 or so minutes of the run. Intonmachi? Yeah, this game is pretty darn cool, and it's a pretty short game. Alright, we can't use that yet, because these guys are still over here. So now that just opened the door. That is still not usable. Now, the thing about using the spread shot for these guys is, I'm gonna check that terminal again. I don't know if it ever is actually usable. The thing about the spread shot is, if you're firing it in any of the 4 main directions, then you can hit the same enemy with multiple bullets at the same time and it will stack damage. So that's why the speedrun basically tries to point blank things with this gun as much as possible. And those things will always, like, rotate clockwise to adjust. So you can actually just kind of confuse them. I think there's nothing in here, right? Yeah. So we have our first giant enemy crab here. We kind of had one of these in the first game, actually, right? At least one of them. I think there was a second one in the 4th stage. Oh, I was a little too close to center there. And when we pick up its remains, we see its life story. So they started off in some alternate dimension and somehow opened a portal to our reality, I guess. This guy doesn't want anything to do with this mission. Any other questions? No, I didn't think so. Go anywhere from here? No, I didn't think so. And now we actually have to destroy that capsule that that dude set up. And all of a sudden, everything is fine again. And now for more storytelling. This is a different giant enemy crab who was setting up this capsule, apparently. And actually, this is when we end up using this terminal. This is the same one. We just crossed paths. Now that the dimensional errors have been corrected, we could just come back over from the right side. Looks like they lost power and are on battery now, and guy on the left seems to be in cahoots over here. Now we're gonna go in there. Now, the thing that I always say about this game is it's practically a metroidvania, but it's linear in terms of its progression. You'll notice I just went through that teleporter twice. Yeah, these teleporters aren't just two-way. They cycle multiple different destinations. This is our first equipment upgrade. And believe it or not, this is required for progression. And then we're introduced to these guys who will, they're basically kamikazes, and if you're speedrunning the game, you actually want to let them run into you because they die faster. By which I mean, not just like, yeah, naturally they die faster, they blew themselves up. No, I mean like, they don't do like the multiple explosion animation, they just do a single explosion, so they seriously actually just like despawn faster when they die. Kind of wanting to be a little careful, but I believe this is our first health refill anyway. It's a little unfortunate that there's like no distinction between health refills and maps and lore bits and everything else. Also, I'm realizing I should probably lower the volume a tiny bit. So, when I press the A button, it cycles which weapon I have equipped on B. I don't actually need to use this here. I could just walk in there, but it's faster to use that there and line it up. These things you do not want to let touch you at all. They do tons of damage, like per frame or something. But yeah, I will make some effort to 1cc this. And we will also go out of our way to get one item that is not required, and a lot of players probably miss it. I know I certainly did in my first playthroughs of the game. And that one extra item actually goes a long way to making the, probably the worst boss in the game a lot less bad. Alright, why did I bother fighting those guys? You can just blow this up and it blows all of them up too. Alright, and now we've come full circle, we're back to the teleporter. What am I doing, dude? I'm supposed to line up this way. Not doing good. Oh, what? I just backed into the teleporter by accident. What? I have to fight them all again? I don't even know if I knew that. Well, this is terrible. I just lost all that health for nothing. Great. I'm gonna come back in again. Because what I should do to fight these guys... Hand's getting tired of doing the mashing. You can actually push these guys away with the rapid fire, though. Oh, he can't hit me from there. Okay. Yeah, you can push them, too. So it'll take longer to kill them than it would with the spread, but... I can't believe... I was looking at the other one. Well, 1 CC might be in jeopardy already. Opened a couple of doors. Okay. The thing about these guys is you basically always want to be diagonal with them. And also, fun fact, I believe they do more damage to you on... Is it the Japanese version that does more damage, or is it the US version, actually? Did that do... If anyone was paying attention to how much health I lost. If I lost 2 health, then this version does more damage. This is where you need the bouncing weapon. There are 2 things that are different about the Japanese version. One is the amount of damage those guys do, and the other is an ending scene that only exists in the US version. Right, I forgot. This guy you actually want to be front and center. Oh, and he didn't move at all. Alright, that was really cooperative, actually. But yeah, those guys will only ever fire, like, horizontally or vertically. They will never fire diagonally. Yeah, it's the second blue enemy crab. And this one gives us its life story, too. And this is actually super cool, because it's like, holy crap, it's outside. Which, if the other cutscenes were any indication, means we probably get to see that. Eventually. Is it just 2 of these guys here? Yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. Normally I just, like, pass behind them entirely and then just fire at this instead. As long as you don't hit them, they won't fire at you, but they do get a little fidgety, as you saw that left one doing. And again, if you destroy the capsule, it'll destroy the enemies anyway. Yeah, this part can get a little out of hand. I forgot about them. Done though. And we get these guys. Yeah, this is another case of the capsule, and you kind of have to shoot this one diagonally. It's another map? Yeah, okay. And they're telling you that this teleporter is where you're supposed to go. However, there's some other stuff we can look at first. Their weapons were clearly doing nothing. This guy, however, knows what he's doing. Except his dodging game is really not strong. Now, don't walk into that again, because that will actually play again. So actually now this teleporter is active, and I'm gonna be honest, I forget which one I'm supposed to go into now. Yeah, actually, this is the one we want. Notice there was a teleporter up there. Keep that in mind. Yeah, so that flamethrower we just saw in the cutscene, it's ours now. I don't have to button mash on the, spread shot anymore to get damage. So now we have 4 primary weapons. We still don't have any secondaries yet, what that second slot is for. But yeah, just keep that, that top right teleport in mind for a bit. Also, now that I think about it, I feel like I remember doing all this stuff after I get the flamethrower. I might be wrong on that. Now you can just try things, and this is why I find it interesting that the first game actually had a flamethrower in it. That's our second health refill. So, okay, 1 CC back on schedule. Oh, this is the room I'm thinking of. I forgot that sends you to a different room afterwards. Right, and so this is, believe it or not... Ow. Please get away from me. Thank you. Believe it or not, flamethrower also progression. You needed to fight to shoot those things up there, because you might think that that this would work, but the thing about the reflect shot is it has limited range, and there's this really long hallway on either side. That it just gets lost down there. Anyway, time to fight the even more giant enemy crab that we saw, and we get some Mode 7 effects for it. And consistent with that cutscene, it only has 1 claw now. Okay, I got really lucky there. I got really lucky on both counts. Because basically the amount that it shifts around before deciding to shoot is random. So in the speedrun, you're not going to come back for this health refill. And you would probably prefer that you take less damage during the boss. Now, it's time to go outside. I thought I was going diagonal, I was not. What? Yeah, one of them just crashed into me. See how it was like a single explosion? Now, this was probably the spot... Well, actually, no. The terrain doesn't look quite the same. No, actually, it might be, because there is the bit on the left where you can see the ground far below. Now we have new enemies, little flying things that shoot at us. course, in the speedrun, you want to line those guys up diagonally. I completely forgot about that. Speedrun also, like, skips all of the cutscenes. Like, you only go to exactly the terminals that matter. Whoops. If I could stop running into everything, that would be great. This is actually potentially really bad. The amount of damage I'm taking here, because you don't get a health refill right away. I'm coming into this cold. Like, none of the games that I'm playing today... Could you get away? Holy crap. Yeah, I'm probably gonna actually take an intentional death once we get inside, which is what the speedrun does. Clearly should have had the flamethrower going full blast as soon as the flying enemies showed up. So yeah, the speedrun takes a death from those guys. Get backed right into that. I'm definitely not looking good here. By the time I remembered something, I can do something correctly. Yeah, we've got different music in here now. You might notice, though, that this place thematically looks like the place that we warped to when we got the, flamethrower. Where are we going now? Over here? This is another area where you can just diagonally attack the, like, prioritize the capsule there. Okay, and now we're done with this screen. However, I think there's a couple of opportunities I have to come back here, because eventually we need to go in there, but I don't think we want to do that yet. However, what we do want to do... go in here, because this isn't a wall. Neither are any of those. And hey, look what this is! Down there is where we got the flamethrower. Up here is where the teleporter is. And we get an extra thing. And actually, this is funny. I didn't even think about this. You can get this first. So we have a homing missile now. And also, ironically, that warps you back into the first area again, because, like, the music there matched the first part we were in before the outside section. I don't remember what this is. Is this a map? Yeah. I feel like we don't get much in the way of lore. I guess it highlights all the teleporters at once. Also, all the, like, red, blue blinking things are teleporters. I honestly forget which one of these... I think we want to go in here first. And then we go in here... forget if we want to do this first or if we actually are supposed to go in here twice. I think this is right. Come on, you know you want to do it. There you go. Ever seen the Exterminator from 1980? Dude runs around with a flamethrower and he's the one you're supposed to root for. Also a map. Yeah, so this is where we'll get what is very commonly the first item you'll get for the... Oh yeah, wait, what am I talking about? I was talking as if we got a Y button thing, but no, the missiles are another B button thing. We still don't have any Y button things. Oh my god, dude. Okay. I forgot about those guys. And that cutscene kind of has like a delayed start because the door opens first. So you have a time to like reverse direction and come back down a little bit. But this is our first item for the Y button. And it distracts enemies. Believe it or not, this is also progression. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. Well, not that much more though, there's not that many instances of it remaining. I kind of don't want to place decoys too often, because I might actually accidentally end up playing myself. Okay, it is distracting them, though. Alright, the decoy's gone now. Here I don't need to care about these guys, because I can just blow that up. That one I remember. And now this, we do not have the equipment we need yet. It doesn't take damage. I believe it's just on a timer. Pretty sure it doesn't take damage. Now we go through here. It's gonna be interesting to see whether I survive to the health refill or not. Because that's the health refill. And yes, I did intentionally have those guys just crash into me while I was taking the health refill. That was a thing that, like, Jackamus Wedge, who previously held the world record for the speedrun for this game, said was a thing that could happen, but it seemed inconsistent. What makes it consistent is if you approach it from the bottom rather than the side. If you're already up against this and then you, like, you hit up and activate it there, the enemies will kind of just center around you, but they won't actually blow up, which is bad. So that means they're gonna blow up as soon as you get your health back. Alright, the 1cc isn't dead after all. Even though I took a ton of damage outside. Right. Just distract. Wait, I say let's just distract those guys. Oh, they don't give a shit about the hologram. Okay, but now we're fine. Yet again, a map. I thought that was going to distract him the other way, but it didn't. Whoops, I meant to go diagonally and I didn't. That's probably not going to help me, like, at all. ignore those guys and blow up everything. Okay, so here we have a boy and his crab. So I guess he just went to their dimension? Probably got enticed with cake. Alright, so remember when I said, believe it or not, the decoy is also regression? Actually, I think you can use either the bouncing laser or the missiles against this, but either way, that's trying to home in on the thing in the back there, but it can't get past this shield, and this shield is on whatever side you're on. So you need to place a decoy, and then you can do that. Oh yeah, I could do that again. I've been forgetting to do that at the beginning of streams this time. The last couple of days. But yeah, full... Oh, let me hit the button so that it actually stays there. I don't know why Twitch can't make that the default. Okay, one more item, and now we've got all the items in the game. And this one's pretty fun to use, too. But it can require some planning. It's a mine, but it actually explodes in a direction. And it's always on a timer. I don't think enemies can destroy it on proximity. And now, this was the place where I had said that, we couldn't do anything in before. Because, like, no matter... You can see there's kind of a crack here, but no matter what weapon we use, nothing happens. You have to use a mine to open that. Yeah, like a claymore. Whoop. Oh, right, it's crab time. Oh, he kind of ran away from it, so the mine didn't really have the full effect. Okay, and now for the most annoying room in the game, except if you have missiles. If you have missiles, this is actually easy. Because you can just home in on those guys. If you don't have missiles, then that room takes forever. Alright, this is another case of I could have just shot the thing, but I didn't, and now I'm paying for it. Okay. There's nothing else to do up here, I believe. Now we go into here, and I believe it's time for what is typically the worst boss in the game, unless you have missiles, which again, were kind of a secret item. So this boss is not vulnerable to the flamethrower. If it were, it wouldn't be the worst boss in the game. So if you don't have the missiles, you tend to just use mines for this. He's dead. So, like, when my dad and I rented this in the 90s, we both just repeatedly died to that boss. Alright, now I do want the flamethrower again, thank you. Now we get one more health refill here. Now, I believe that... well, I think there's a couple of dudes over here first. Yup. I believe we need to switch weapon for what's in here, too. I think this is also invulnerable to the flamethrower. This is a different type of crab. This is the one that you saw in the cutscene. And it drops the same thing that we saw that dude go virtual with. And notice to our left, there is other dimensional nonsense going on. And now we too are, I don't know, what flavor of Mountain Dew is this color? Is Baja Blast the blue one? I don't fucking remember. And now we are so much cooler online. Wait, who didn't I kill? Somebody's still alive. Oh, this guy. He missed the memo. Yeah, so actually, what's really funny is this game actually has parallels to, like, the 2 levels in Assault Android Cactus that I really like because they feel progressive, but they still require you to kill enemies at every step of the level. As you might guess, this is the final leg of the adventure. Okay, so there is a very real chance that I fuck up the last boss, and we still don't get a 1cc. Because, it's very easy to screw up the last boss. And I don't think we get any refills before it either. Ow. Okay, there we go. Forgot they line up like that. You can actually, like, basically pre-seed a mine in the path of them so they just blow up immediately. Alright, time for the final boss, and we'll see what happens, because I don't remember how the hell to do this. Fortunately, these guys' bullets expire before they reach you if you're on the other side. Alright, so now the thing is, we kind of want to, like, get ourselves in here. This is working, but it's slow. There's a better way to do this. But it worked. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do that so that I'm actually hitting the boss with the flamethrower as well. So now, this area right here. These are our scientist dudes. Remember when I said keep in mind the things that we saw at the end of each level in the second Ikari no Yousai that you have to destroy before the boss fight starts? This seems a lot like that to me. But that's it. That's the end of the game. And this bit only exists in the US version for some reason. Thanks to the GG. But yeah, so that green ooze that was coming out of, like, the big electric field that was coming out of the final boss, that will fry your health. If you get hit by that, you are going to have a bad time. Maybe that's also Mountain Dew related. Somebody, in one of the Discords I'm in, somebody posted a screenshot of, there's apparently like a Mountain Dew cream soda cross-up now, and they said, dude, why is this so good? And I'm like, why are you not fucking dead? Like, Mountain Dew already has twice as much sugar as any typical soda. And if you mix that with cream soda, it's gotta be worse, right? You're just drinking straight-up sugar or high fructose corn syrup at that point, right? Like, it's like, I think I need to call this guy a doctor or an ambulance. But yep, there's the third game of the series. I'm surprised that took me 40 minutes. The speedrun for this is like under 22 minutes now. When I started running it, I think the record might have been 22:08. And then, I never had world record, but when I learned to run it, I was looking at it, Lunathera was looking at it, Jackamus looked at it again, and all of us ended up getting times under 22 minutes when I picked it up. So, I guess you could say I encouraged another round of runs on it, and then later on, Lehulk just smacked all of us out of the water. Lehulk's a fucking machine, dude. He runs so many SNES games and stuff. Lehulk is isn't Lehulk a big Goof Troop guy or something? But, and I think he runs, I want to say he runs like Soul Blazer or something too. I could be misremembering on that, but I feel like I see Lehulk on a whole bunch of SNES leaderboards. But yeah, at some point he picked up this game and just completely obliterated everybody. I'm pretty sure he has a sub 21. But yeah, this is a really cool game. And I always say I wish they did more with this, because, like, you can see where, like, almost every item we picked up served some form of progression, in addition to just being cool weapons. And it's like, I wish they would have made this like a true Metroidvania, where there were, like, multiple places to use each of those things. Like, I could see this game having been, like, so much bigger scope and ambition, with a bigger map and stuff. So, it's kind of heartbreaking to me that, like, this is as far as the series went, because I feel like this is a really cool game. Anyway, I suppose I can let this continue to run out the credits. I'll take another break, and we'll come back, and we'll look at Super E.D.F, the Jaleco shmup on the docket for the afternoon. Before I get to that, and before I forget, though, one of the things I wrote down on the 10-year page that I pinned to chat, after Befraction reminded me again, is one of the follow-ups that I want to do is Jaleco came out with another game, I want to say about a year later after this one, called The Ignition Factor. And that was in Board Boosters. I think it was the game before Corridor 7 got into Board Boosters. And I saw a little bit of Bug Doctor playing it. And it has, like, the same door-opening sound and animation that this game does. So that makes me very curious to play The Ignition Factor. And I've never gotten around to it, but I should really try to prioritize that. There are a couple of things I want to prioritize after this stream special, this event. Oh, well, we got to the end screen anyway, while I was still talking, as it turns out. Now, the Ignition Factor, like, thematically, I don't think has anything to do with this game, but it seems like it shared some, like, assets and/or code or something. So that's why I'm curious about it. The Ignition Factor is a game about, like, firefighting and stuff. So, like, a lot of people know the game The Fireman, which is also a Super NES game about firefighting, and I haven't played that one either, but the Ignition Factor is another one, and it's by Jaleco. Alright, anyway, I guess I'll put on, let me put on the sound test from Super E.D.F. again, because we're gonna get to that next. And for Super E.D.F., I am using an actual cartridge, the actual cartridge that I had in the 90s for this as well. Oh, you know what? I should actually let that play out. For people who haven't seen it, because it's cool. It just marquees the E.D.F. letters across an image of the ship there. Alright, so let's go into config, because there is a sound test in here. So I had the naval battle, the third level music going on before stream, and then I switched to boss attacks so that I could open with the cover I did of that. Let's do Midnight Intercept, which is, weird, my headphones just decided right then to glitch out. This is EI's favorite song because he'll never shut up about the arpeggios. I'm slightly shitposting, but, like, he always talks about the arpeggios in this song. Looks like I might need to adjust volume a little bit accordingly again. Alright, let's... Oh, actually, yeah, I should actually adjust volume down quite a bit because, another thing EI loves about this game is the enemy damage sounds, which are very loud in the US version. They're not like that in the Japanese version, so one thing I actually want to do is I actually want to play the Japanese version, to show people what's different about it. Name entry is one of your favorites? I mean, every song in this merits being somebody's favorite, I feel like. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. I feel like Naval Battle is quite a few people's favorite, and that's tempting to me, but, like, I really like quite a few of them. Stages 1 through 3 are all really strong. Stages 4 and 5, I feel like they don't hit the same way, and those are the two stages that were, like, unique to the... And that music is unique to the SNES version, although so is the name entry. Stage 6's music also comes up in the arcade version, in the last stage there, I believe. But anyway, I will leave you with this for the time being, and I'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and play through... It's really almost 5 PM here already, huh? We're gonna play this at least twice, hopefully, when I get back. Okay. Of course, I need to point out now that, like, my countdown, like, my BRB screen and the countdown used for bringing it back up is entirely based on this game that we are playing right now. So, Super E.D.F. is basically always a part of my stream. Alright. Let's go ahead... Oh, I need to reset my timer. We're gonna go ahead and start a run. I'm not gonna do any speedruns of this today. We're gonna hope for 1CCs, but, like I said, I haven't done any recent practice of any of the games I'm playing today, doing a speedrun of this would definitely require at least a little bit of practice. We're gonna just go for, like, surviving. So, the interesting thing is the speedrun and the score run actually have a little bit of overlap, and maybe I can talk about that a bit as we get there. For stages 1 and 2, I think I'm gonna go with homing for both. You could really go with either homing or S-Laser for the first stage. For stage 2, I feel like homing is much more convenient. Okay, doesn't look like this is too loud. But yeah, that enemy hit sound is kind of overwhelming in this version. Yeah, getting all kills in this level with S-Laser feels impossible because of 1 or 2 specific waves. But yeah, so you notice this is one of those waves. You notice there were 8 selectable weapons in this game. In the arcade version of the game, which came out first, there are only 4. Almost hit me. I almost missed one of the enemies. I think I ended up getting all of them, but I know I missed one at the beginning of the stage anyway. Interestingly, this mid-boss is actually kind of held in common between the arcade version and this version, but it has like 3 different states in the arcade version. Whereas in this version, there's just the initial state and the 1 damaged state. And you've noticed we have weapon levels. We gain experience, which is basically directly tied to, like, gaining points. Oh, did he get away? Nope, he didn't. I almost got hit there and somehow miraculously didn't. So we did gain a weapon level, which you'll notice changed the appearance of my weapon. And here's that music that I covered. And this boss also has a damage state. And it actually, like, changes, like, its attack pattern. You'll also notice that this game has lag. There are ways to reduce lag, which the speedrun definitely relies on. Part of it is just having your options out can increase lag, because when you shoot with your options out, you have the main shot in addition to your selected weapon. So that means more sprites on the screen. Wait, 4 different parts? I thought it was 2 parts. But yeah, Lunathera's been doing a lot of research on this game, and, like, the amount of damage that weapons do, the amount of health that bosses have, etc., etc. And we got a secret bonus, which in the Japanese version is called the no-miss bonus, but that's a slight misnomer. Because later on, once you've reached weapon level 5, you can gain health. And you get that bonus as long as you end the stage with 3 or more health. So you could technically take a hit and still get the no-miss bonus in the Japanese version. But yeah, that bonus is worth a lot of points. So you kind of want to get it because, again, score equals weapon experience and levels. And the sooner you get to higher weapon level, especially weapon level 5, which is the max level, the better. Typically, in a 1cc playthrough, you're going to hit weapon level 5 in Stage 4, and you want it for Stage 4. This particular part of the stage can be kind of terrifying with non-homing weapons because of your split attention between these enemy types. It's funny how some of the homing projectiles will just kind of circle around for a bit before finding a new enemy. Oh, one of those guys survived. Jeez. Alright. So, because we have weapon level 3, I now have a new option formation where they'll follow me. Oh, I should have done that a little further to the right. Because basically, as long as your options are overlaying the boss, an enemy in general, they will cause damage for, like, every other frame that they're overlaying an enemy. So this boss has a damage state, but it doesn't change its patterns at all. Let me catch up with chat here. Curious how much less damage weapons do. Yeah, there definitely is a difference when the satellites are detached. And yeah, you have more damage potential overall. There's only one weapon that has worse damage potential with options detached. Trying to remember if you had talked about that. I can't remember which one it would be, though. One thing I will say is, like, I think you were finding some interesting things about Explode in particular, which makes me wonder if that could be used even more, like, to even more advantage in the speedrun, but I suspect that a lot of maximum potential Explode usage would probably be TAS only, because if you tried to do it as a human player, you would probably be taking damage all over the place. Because it's like, when I use Explode in Stage 2 in the speedrun, I'm basically intentionally, like, embedding myself in the boss. I am going to take damage. Oh, it's homing, okay. Oh, homing you never really want... Yeah, right. Yeah. Because of how rapid fire it is in general. Alright, I'm gonna switch to S-Laser for Stage 3. Now, here's the thing. For both a speedrun and a score run, I would use Photon for Stage 3. And we'll talk about why when we get to the mid-boss. Hopefully I don't forget to talk about why when I get to the mid-boss. But I want S-Laser here because enemies start getting chunkier. So, like, homing would take a while to actually kill them. But S-Laser still homes in, but it doesn't curve. So, like, it homes in once when it shoots. Once it leaves your ship, its course is set. Whereas with homing, it continuously adjusts. Now, these guys have options, which, if you're playing on hard difficulty, their options also shoot. If you're playing on normal difficulty, that's the default. There is an easy difficulty that is only in the Japanese version of the game. Another option difference in the Japanese version of the game is, instead of being able to choose between 3, 2, or 1 shield... Why would you do that to yourself? You can choose between 3, 4, and 5 shield. So they absolutely made the US version harder. I'm in a bad place here. Yeah, I took a hit there. No secret bonus on this stage. Also, the funny thing is, like, there's so much more lag that, like, I normally would be at the mid-boss when the music loops there. So, the reason why we want to use Photon even in a score run is because the way mid-bosses work is, as long as they're alive, any enemies that would normally spawn in on the fixed timeline of the level will not spawn in. If you don't kill this boss relatively quickly, you are going to miss enemy waves. So killing this boss faster is actually necessary for score runs. Got away. So I purposely switched to follow formation again so I could have at least one of the options embedded in the boss. I actually don't know whether embedding both options does more damage than embedding one option. I'd be curious about that. Whoa, I almost ran into that. I'm just gonna attach my options again until we get to the next phase of the boss to speed things up a bit. So you could hear how, like, far apart the explosion noises were until I, like, stopped shooting and tucked in the options again. Like, that's all lag. And, yeah, fun fact, I don't know what that part of the boss does. Because I never see it. I think we'll get to weapon level 5 anyway. Nah, we're just short, because I didn't get the secret bonus. If you're point blanking or close enough to shot limit, yeah, it doesn't matter, right. Isn't it every other frame? Yeah. Each option, though, so you're saying it can stack if 2 options are in it. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it didn't matter. Okay, so, stage 4, we are still going to use S-lasers. So, fun fact, when I was a kid, my dad and I would get stuck on the stage 4 boss. That's the farthest we would ever get in this game. But, that's because we were using homing. If you use homing on stage 4, the boss takes forever. And the stage 4 boss is definitely a big step up in difficulty in terms of dodging its attacks. I actually have a YouTube video demonstrating dodging the boss attacks on hard difficulty because they fire like twice as frequently. But yeah, this is why S-Laser is good. Now let's just hope I don't screw up the rest of the level. Because this level is real easy to screw up. Fortunately, those enemies don't have a hitbox until they, like, get past you. I do have level 5 now. So I can... Level 5, the option's homing for you. That helps get rid of enemies quicker, regardless of what you're using. I'm lining up with one of these to, like, give the, options a head start. This is a wave that it is very easy to take damage on. I don't know how I didn't. That was really not a good way to do that. I'm lining up down here because there were 2 waves of enemies, one at the top, one at the bottom there, and now there's the 1 wave down here, plus the missiles on top. The thing about those zoomy enemies is they make a right-angle turn when they cross your position on the other axis. There's a couple of types of enemies that do that. Those are the most common one, though. And now we got these guys again. Remember them from stage 2? This is like a palette swap version, though, so they are tankier and worth more points, I think. And same with those guys. Tucking in the options again to reduce lag for this animation. But we made it to the boss. The ship itself also makes contact damage? That's pretty funny. Whoa. How did I not get hit by that? I tried really hard to get hit by that. So he does like 8 pairs of stars, and then he does groups of 3. And he's dead. But yeah, the first phase there is a real rude awakening, because not only does he do the burst attack, he sends out these little things that fly around. They get sent out in a straight line, then they send out things that also go in a straight line, and each of those things is a straight line towards your position at the time. So it's like a nested S-laser attack. And again, those fire out twice as frequently on hard difficulty. Thanks, Lunathera. Alright, so we're still gonna do S-laser for stage 5. Now, this stage teaches you that sometimes the level 5 option formation isn't all it's cracked up to be. Switch that a little too soon. So right here, I'm actually going to turn off that formation, because these guys that are lining up on the right side of the screen will distract your options in the homing formation, but it won't be able to hurt them until they start moving. That's a pretty common theme on this level. And again, the previous level and this level are completely unique to this version of the game. The other levels at least share thematic similarities, if nothing else, with the arcade version. The enemy formations are still quite different. And actually, Stage 2 in particular does some really interesting stuff in the arcade version. Particularly the second half of it. If I'm gonna get hit on a phase, it's gonna be this one. Yep, just got hit. So, remember how I said some enemies turn at a right angle when they meet your position on the opposite axis? Those enemies that came in from the bottom of the screen also do that. It's very common to get hit by one of those. I missed one guy there. I'm sad. Wait till the icicles go off the screen, then home in on this guy. Because otherwise the homing gets distracted by that. That is a mid-boss. For some reason, they expect that to take way longer than it takes with, I would say at least half the weapons in the game. So in this case, it's fine to stick with the homing option formation, because we don't have any enemies, like, distracting them while invincible. Also, real talk, this stage is a nightmare on score attacks, because it's so easy to miss a single enemy and forfeit a huge bonus. Especially the missiles at the end of the stage, actually. Because they have pretty chunky bonuses. Well, my options got a little distracted by those guys coming in. Yeah, these missiles. And there's one more distraction on its way in, too. That comes in from the background, right there. These things. And you can see, like, it's distracting the S-laser, too. Oh, I missed some of them. Alright, now this boss feels pretty low effort in terms of how they designed it. Its loop is very, very short. It doesn't have any damage state or anything. Like, after what they did with the Stage 4 boss, I'm really surprised that this was their idea for Stage 5. The one thing I will point out here is I am making sure to stay still until all 3 waves of these rocks are built, because these also actually, like, aim towards you. So if you maneuver before... Yeah, see, like, what happened there with the 3rd set? If you maneuver between the sets of rocks, you will make it harder to dodge them. Whereas if you wait until the 3rd one comes out, you just offset yourself a little bit, and you can dodge all 3. So I did get hit there once, but I still ended with 4 health because we got another level up. We still got a secret bonus. As I said, it's not a no-miss bonus. I got hit. That's why renaming it away from no-miss bonus is arguably the right call. So I'm going to switch weapon for the final stage. Grenade gets a little bit flashy, especially at level 5 where it has, like, bigger explosions, so I will give a bit of a warning about that. It's not like a full-screen flash, but it's still a pretty significant-sized one. Grenade is by far the easiest weapon to make use of in this level. Explode also works, and the speedrun uses that. There is one thing that Explode is less... convenient for. You could use S-Laser for this, but it's gonna... The final boss rush is gonna get a little problematic, potentially. So that's what the, explosion looks like. Gonna wait to switch option formations until those guys are off screen. One more set of dudes here. Now I want to switch because those guys in the background will distract your homing options. Now I can switch back. I mean, real talk, the grenade explosions can get kind of distracting in this. Whoop, okay. Remember these guys from stage 3? They're back. Okay, I lucked out there because that one option stuck around, because the 2 guys in the back here can end up distracting your options, and then that guy in the center is actually a problem. So you would have to switch formation there. Alright, so that's the first half of the stage, and then we get into the only part of the game that has, like, actual... interior and, like, obstacles with contact damage. But this is where Grenade really shines, because the thing about Explode is it can't go through walls. Grenade does not give a shit. There's, like, one very specific place where if you're using Explode, you may need to switch to, like, the circular formation in order to hit something and get it out of your way. I forgot to call it out when it came up. It was the ceiling turret after, like, the little right angle corner. Alright, first boss of the stage. This boss, as soon as... like, it always fires a bullet towards you. So just adjust as soon as you hear it shoot. Hard difficulty, there is an additional projectile type in this boss battle. I got hit by that, whatever. I still have at least 5 shield. You can have more than 5 shield. Do I remember where to set this up? That's a good question. I hope this is right. This might not be quite correct. There's actually a couple of places you can set this up, though. To be fair. Alright, because I had to... okay, now we're good. We stacked that much damage already, this will be fine. I might take a hit here. Yeah, I took a hit there. I'm gonna use that to reposition. Ideally, it would have been dead already. actually close in again so I can hit it with grenade. There we go. Okay. You got to see more of the boss than you normally see, actually. Because I did not line that up in the best way possible. You can also line it up inside in the lower part there. And that's actually what the speedrun does with Explode. Alright, now in the arcade version of the game, that would be the end. You would go forward and your options would, like, surround the core and blow it up or something. But in this version, I guess there are rambunctious kids in your ship, and our pilot said, "Don't make me turn this ship back around." And now it's time for the true final boss, which is absolutely a damage race. You are not going to succeed in evading this thing's attacks. There's one hit. I only took one hit. I'll take that any day of the week. It is very common to take at least 2 hits on that boss, and I'm pretty sure I only took 1. Oh, so that boss is worth, like, 5 million points. My score just doubled. How did 5 go? I took 1 hit, and I got 1 health back anyway. I took 1 hit in the one phase that is very, very common to take hits in, which is like the one right before the mid-boss, where you've got the yellow ships from the right, and then you've got the little guys zooming in from the bottom that then veer towards your ship when they hit your position on the y-axis. Yeah, I feel like that, yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. That may have happened, like, exactly once. I might have a clip of it, I don't remember. Alright. I'm gonna take this opportunity to take a quick break because we're gonna do one more playthrough of this when I get back. I'll let the credits play out, though. And then you'll get to hear the high score music that Tex likes. Okay. I am back. So, to put things in perspective, this score is over 200,000, almost 300,000 less than what I got when we played this for the Shmup Book Club in, oh god, what year was that? 2018? 2019? And, wait. No, hang on a sec. I got 10.9 in that, right? I need to actually check. Yeah, I got 10.979. Lunathera got 10.717 million during that, and yes, it was... Wait, where the hell did it go on the list? It was July of 2018 when this got into the Shmup Book Club rotation. I later went on to get... Oh god, what score did I get eventually in this? It was 11 something, and the reason I did was because Pericles posted scores of 11 million, and I was like, is that really possible? And I did some testing and experimenting and found out that yes, it was, and part of that was, like, using Photon on stage 3 as if it were a speedrun so that I could kill more enemies. Let me see... I have 11.03. Wait, really? Is that where I... Is that what I left it at? I'm actually gonna bring up the System 11 Shmups forum page for it and see what I posted there. I have 11.054. That sounds more familiar. So, Pericles had posted 11 million something, but subsequently Pericles' scores apparently got removed across the entire site because apparently at least some of them were not legit, like they were tool-assisted effectively. So, now I have the... I had the top score, and now I again have the top score. I gotta give Pericles credit for pushing me to, like, try it again and see what I could do with it. I never bothered pushing the other game modes. Like, because his scores ended up removed anyway, I improved my score on normal, but I didn't improve my score on hard or on the Japanese game modes. Whoop, that's the wrong button. You have to press the B button in this, not the A button. Alright, Perfraction. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good night. So we're gonna do another playthrough of the game. However, we're not gonna play this version of the game, so give me a minute. Let me reset my timer, too. We are going to play the Japanese version of the game. There are several differences that are worth pointing out. Hang on, didn't I just hit the reset button? There we go. It does still have the same opener, though. So let me go into options first, just to show you the things I was talking about earlier in terms of differences. So game level. In the US version, I didn't point this out in the US version, but in the US version you have normal and hard, and that's it. In the Japanese version, you also have easy. And as I mentioned before, in the US version, shield stock starts at 3, you can change it, but it'll change to lower values. In the Japanese version, it'll change to higher values. And then you've got the control for configuration and the sound mode. I guess I'll leave stock at 3. I'm going to play on easy to illustrate the differences. I might actually do worse. And it'll become clear why when we get to the relevant portions. Because the thing is, there are certain things that change that I am not going to be used to, and I'm probably not going to think about it. Actually, even the percussion and the music is a little bit different too, I think, between the US and Japanese versions. But the first thing you'll notice is that the enemy hit sounds are not nearly as egregiously loud. Also, what the hell are these enemy waves? These don't exist in the US version. So 2 levels in this game are longer in the Japanese version of the game. And you would think, how does that make any sense? I thought you said they made the US version harder. Wouldn't more enemies be harder? Yes and no. And the reason why I say no is because you gotta remember, when you gain points, you gain weapon level experience. So what that means is there is a higher likelihood that you make it to stage 4 already having weapon level 5 in the Japanese version of the game. Now that sound is completely different. So for some reason they added like a way more percussive enemy damage sound. Like the destruction sound still seems the same, but the damage sound is so much quieter. And there is actually a patch available. Oh, right, I forgot about that. They actually changed the color of these guys' projectiles in the US version. And I actually appreciate that they did that, because now it blends in with your own weapons. Actually, here's a question about the point thresholds. I assume they don't change between easy and, or rather normal and hard, like the difficulty levels? But actually, I don't know. I honestly forget how much difference there is in terms of, like, amount of enemies between normal and hard. I just know that, like, enemies shoot a lot more aggressively in hard. It's been a long time since I played hard difficulty or anything other than normal. Is it just me, or did that guy actually, like, live longer than usual? Oh yeah, these guys, like, don't shoot at... Yeah, see, it took them that long to shoot the first time. They have a different shot sound, too. But yeah, like, the slower shooting is almost definitely due to easy difficulty. Well, that was unfortunate. I got myself in a really bad position there. I think this part of the level might be longer, too. Yeah, this part of the level's also got more waves to it. So the very beginning had additional waves, the very end also has additional waves. Did we ever see 3 of these guys on screen at once in the US, yeah, in the US version? Alright, now it's boss time. I want to say I remember there being more of the, you know, like, circular tank-looking things on hard difficulty. Like, where there's 4 on normal, there might be 6 on hard. I might be making that up, though. And I kind of forgot to pay attention to that on easy difficulty here, especially, like, if I had more time, I would have played, like, normal first on this version, and then contrasted that with easy. I think I might actually have an old VOD where I did that. I feel like I have most of the enemy spawns memorized, but I always have to refresh my memory when I come back to the game. We'll stick with homing for stage 2. Yeah, that seems like that'll probably be where it's at here. Yeah, so these are the enemies that are gonna hit me, because they normally do 4 shots. They do 3 shots on easy. They do 4 shots on everything else. So, like, if you play easy, it requires an adjustment going between easy and any other difficulty. Did those guys just not shoot? Like, it opened up, but it didn't shoot. He just fired a blank. Yeah, so I just... Yeah, I got level 3 probably around the same. 384k. I'm gonna have to remember that in stage 4. Do these guys still fire... Do they not fire anything on easy difficulty? They don't fire anything on easy difficulty. Those guys normally fire 2 shots when they get past your X position. That's what makes them, like, something to contend with, especially when you're not using a homing weapon. So yeah, I think the majority of difficulty differences is how often or little enemies shoot. And I mean, it's definitely noticeable in hard difficulty because you will end up lagging the game more, but you'll probably be thankful for it. Yeah, so the percussion here, the hats are definitely different. They stand out a little better in the US version, but I mean, they really stand out the most in the arcade version. Oh, right. I'm not paying attention. I don't know what that one shot is doing. Like, I don't think it was actually hitting him. Even though it was definitely right there. I'm guessing it was from when the phase changed. Well, I mean, when he got to the damage state, the phase doesn't really change. I actually managed to kill him faster that time, but that's probably just because I actually had the options making contact in the first half. Yeah, 768 will probably be the next one. Okay, so now we want S-Laser. I don't remember if there were any differences to the yellow guys in this on easy. Because, like I mentioned, that, like, the options only shoot on hard difficulty. Now this is the one other level... Wait, I think I got a level up before I got to 780-something. Oh wait, no, it's 768, right? I'm confusing 384 and 768. Yeah, so will you still have options? Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah, so they're still basically the same. Seemed like there might have been a pause there, although I don't remember if that's actually the same on normal. Like after the second volley. Oh, they don't have the spindly doodle. The thing that, like, attacks in 360-degree pattern. Oh, I missed that one guy down there. And that might just be a difference between Japanese and US. Oh, come on! I just happened to be going across there as that thing came in. There it is! Yeah, in the US version, there's another one of those. I think there's more dudes here too, actually. There sure are. We're just gonna keep doing these two waves over and over again. Alright, now it's mid-boss time. But there's definitely also more waves at the end of the level. Those guys have a different sound, too? More of these guys, too. The ones that line up at the top. Oh, wow, how did I not run into that? Holy crap. There's still more of these guys. It gives them more meaning, because there's only, like, I don't know, 2 of them. In the US version, maybe 3. Like, they definitely made the stage, like, drag on less in the US version. But you can see where I'm, like, pretty close to level 5 already. It's too bad that I've screwed up and taken damage in, I think, 2 out of the 3 stages so far. So I am wiggling to get the options down here so that they're doing maximum damage. So yeah, this will probably be at 128, yeah. Oops, I think I hit the button one too many times. Yep, level up. It's worth like 100,000 points. So in this level, we have to again remember that those spark shooting enemies only shoot 3, and one goes right down the middle of the level, the screen. Because that's not how it works in either other difficulty level. Oh, right. This is instrumented differently. Like, the main melody is, like, stands out a lot more, and also there's, like, the tom intro in the US version that just isn't there in this version. It goes straight into the melody. That's interesting. In normal, there's like a solid row of those guys, or column. But there was like a break in the column. I can't believe that. I needed to move forward more to manipulate that bullet. But as I said last time, I'm pretty sure I said that is one of the most likely waves to take a hit in. I'm surprised they don't make that wave significantly easier, although I think it only had one set of the red dudes instead of two. Actually fully cleared that wave, I think. Is it time for the Sparky boys? Yep. I suppose you're still safe at the very top or bottom too, which is true across all difficulties with these guys' attack. Not quite far down enough to be comfortable there. I think that's the end? Yep. Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the level that, like, even the very start of the music is different, because in the US version, there's, like, the tom lead-in, and this version just skips that. The toms seem to largely not be present in this version. Alright, let's see if this boss is actually more lenient in this version, on easy specifically. Since it's very much less lenient on hard. Yep. There's a pause between these guys coming out. So, like, the frequency with which those little satellite ships come out is tweaked on all three difficulties. Also, notice there was no set of 8. Like I mentioned previously when I played the US version on normal, there's 8 pairs of those projectiles that come out the first time, and then it's sets of 3. But it was just always sets of 3 here. I am assuming that is an easy difficulty difference, not a region difference. So we're probably past the biggest differences in the game. I guess the one other thing is, like, the final boss rush. I'm pretty sure the first boss of Stage 6... it might not have that one bullet that hangs out at the side of the screen until it decides to zoom in on you. So that, like, each difficulty level adds something. Easy to normal adds that, normal to hard adds there's these little blue laser-like things that do a 90-degree angle maneuver on you when they cross your horizontal position. Oh, look at this. They only spawn on the one side. Whereas on normal they spawn both behind and in front of you. And there were probably fewer enemies there while the vertical dudes were showing up. That wave seemed a lot less chaotic. Oh, what? I moved up early. Wow, I've taken a lot of silly hits in this, particular playthrough. And they haven't even been ones, like, directly related to easy differences, or Japanese version differences. Kind of unfortunate, because it means I'll be going into the final stage without any extra health. Okay, that went well, though. This boss is identical. I'm almost wondering if the 3 volleys are spaced any differently. But if it is, it's extremely subtle, so probably not. Alright, don't forget to switch weapon for the final stage. Yeah, so see, it is called no miss bonus. I forgot to actually point that out specifically. Actually, no, I did point that out earlier, didn't I? Although I think, no, I was talking about it specifically when I got the secret bonus after, like, taking a hit in the US version. But yeah, like, I took a hit there. No miss is supposed to mean you didn't take a hit, but if you take a hit and then you get the health back, it still counts as a no miss bonus in this version. So, like, they operate the same, they're just named differently. Alright, well, we should get an extra shield almost immediately in stage 6, so there's that. I honestly don't remember if there's any differences. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's fewer of those things. We're already done with that part. I don't even recall if that's easy difficulty or if that's just the version of the game. Like I said, I would have preferred to actually, like, contrast multiple difficulties on this version so that you could see normal versus normal on the 2... Oh, there's only 2 of those guys instead of, like, 6? Oh, I just got hit there, so much for the extra shield. I had really bad timing on my formation switch there. There's only one of those guys there at a time? The back guys aren't there at all? Whoa, those bullets are going at different speeds from the same current. What? I guess maybe bullet speed is also affected by your position, not just angle. I think there's fewer enemies here. That's the one that I was talking about last time. The turret that's up there is the one that's hard to get to with Explode. Are there gonna be fewer guys here? Nope, it's still the 4. Alright, let's see how this works. I'm assuming that the one projectile that hangs out in the back isn't gonna be there. Oh yeah, and this might be more spread out too. So yeah, the projectile that hangs out in the back is not there on easy. I actually got it faster that time. But the pattern, you still saw all the patterns. The patterns were still basically the same. Yeah, this is gonna be a lower score than last time, because basically take this score and add, like, change the 5 to a 10. I almost managed to take a frickin' terrain damage hit there. That would have been embarrassing. You would think they would make this one easier, but I think the patterns are exactly the same. I could have had that 0 damage, and then I took a really stupid hit on the second phase. But yeah, those looked the same. They might have been slightly slower fire rate, but same patterns. Like, the green thing is still split into the same number of fragments, which is really the biggest problem with that boss. The first phase of that boss is the hardest one to dodge. That's an interesting question about the second to last boss, especially since, like, doesn't the whole ground also flicker red when it takes damage? So, like, is the ground a separate hitbox? Can the ground take damage? Not that you would want to, like, embed yourself in the ground. But there you go. We got 2 playthroughs done, and that's all I'm gonna have time for here. I mean, currently our strategy for the speedrun for that is plant ourselves in the little, like, alcove near the bottom right and use Explode so that basically all of the fragments are going into it, right? And actually, now that I think about it, when we've been doing that with Explode, we've been doing it with, like, the options tucked into the ship. Would it actually do more damage if we had the options out? given what we've been talking about with the options out often resulting in more damage. Although, I think doesn't it split into fewer fragments then for explode? Hey, boy. Oh yeah, no, understandable on both counts. I know some folks follow for specific types of games. But yeah, this one is probably my... I mean, it's the shmup I have the most nostalgia for sure, because I grew up with it. But I did not beat it until somewhere around 2016 or 2017 or 2018. Because I think I don't know exactly which game I followed Lunathera for back then. It might have been this one, though. But at the very least, I remember, like, if not directly related, shortly after I followed, Lunathera played this, and I was like, oh yeah, it turns out that Stage 4 is easier to fight the boss if you use a weapon that doesn't take until next Christmas to kill it. Well, wasn't that true on several of the bosses? Because, like, for a while you were looking at one pair of slots for all the bosses in general, and then you started having to hunt for different slots for some of the bosses. But then on a lot of those previous ones, it was mirroring the same values across both pairs of slots. Wasn't that the thing? Good grief. Well, I mean, that's for, like, all enemies that could possibly be on screen at once, I'm assuming. Right? Alright, let's go back down here again. Yeah, even right at the beginning there, when you hear that hi-hat come in, like, that sound is totally different from the US version. Right, yeah, and I think that was why you ended up having to find more slots, was because... Oh, which boss was it that we first ran into that with when you were doing it? Was it the Stage 4 boss? Because of the set? No. Wasn't there a boss that had, like, multiple parts and that was why or something? Was it 5? Yeah, 5 might have just been, like, completely hidden. For some reason. Or it might have been one of the mid-bosses that was completely hidden, honestly. It might have been the 5th mid-boss. I feel like I remember that being a mystery. Yeah. That was where all of a sudden it was like, where are the numbers? And you had to do it again for the final boss of the level, okay. But yeah, as I said, Lunathera's been looking at a lot of the numbers on this game now. And I guess that started with you wanted to look at... A thing I tried doing for my 8th stream anniversary that I kind of half-assed, was... I was gonna see if I could finish the game with every weapon just using the one weapon, and... I finished 7 out of 8, I'm pretty sure. Homing was the one that I realized this is going to be a problem for the final stage. And the final boss in particular. And I know Lunathera has managed to, route it. It's like, I got that far, but that was... I at least got to the second to last boss. The second to last boss also takes forever with homing. I only got a 1cc on 2 out of 8 weapons, but I really only put in, like, a couple of attempts max on each weapon. Because I really only spent, like, the 1 week on it. But since there were 8 weapons, I did that for my 8th stream anniversary. I got a 1cc with S-Laser, and... it was either Photon or Explode. And whichever one I didn't, I should be able to get a 1cc with either of those, I feel like. Like, those should... especially if I could get it with Explode, I should be able to get it with Photon, I feel like. Anyway, we got through the Jaleco games that we wanted to get through. Glad I could at least demonstrate both the US and Japanese versions of this and show off what's different about easy mode, which is only in the Japanese version. It's always good to get back to this every so often. Follow Lunathera if you want to see other science and attempts involving this game at some point in the future, probably.